New tonight at 10, timing can be everything in life, and it can also be the reason much of Utah might lose millions of dollars.
That money would pay for much needed services and programs we all use, but the coronavirus and federal budget issues mean several cities could lose out big unless people act now. From the streets you drive on to our schools, hospitals, and parks, they all rely on money to keep them going. But this year, the timing of the census during a pandemic and now a schedule change may leave huge holes in city and county budgets for years to come.
We will lose millions of dollars as a community.
It's very important.
Kelly Miranda is the director of Promise South Salt Lake, which helps families with everything from free meals to education assistance.
So we've got a really diverse community here.
Promise South Salt Lake relies heavily on money that's funded because of the census.
Having every resident complete the census really gives us a great picture of who's living in South Salt Lake and what services are needed.
So here's how it works. The census counts how many people are in a community, telling cities and counties exactly who lives there. Billions of dollars at all levels of government are given out based completely off population. In fact, one group estimates it's just over $1,000 a year per person. So if you're not counted, your money disappears for the next 10 years.
I think what's so important for residents to understand is there's not a do-over with the census.
South Salt Lake Mayor Sherry Wood says her city has only had about 60% of residents fill out the census so far, about 18% behind where they'd like to be at this point.
Our budget is 80% sales tax and property tax.
All in favor, say aye.
The state legislature decides how much sales tax money each city gets based off the city's population. If they don't make up some ground, the city and its budget will really miss out.
Could be $1 million, $2 million a year hit, and that's really what helps us provide service to our residents. So that's streets, it's beautifying the community, it's parks, it's, trails, it's all of those things that everybody wants to have in their community.
South Salt Lake isn't the only city lagging behind. Salt Lake City's response rate is 66%, Ogden 62%, and Moab at just under 56%.
The Public Works, police, fire, we're asking them to have conversations with residents as they're out and about, just reminding people how important the census is to South Salt Lake.
South Salt Lake is making a big push with signs, social media, and conversations in the community, but COVID has thrown up barriers.
With the COVID pandemic and having some of our public spaces such as libraries and schools closing, it made it much harder for individuals to complete the census.
The city is offering help for those who need it, and they're trying to remind everyone that this count will stick with the city for the next decade.
10 years ago, we were undercounted by 26%. And so we were really looking forward to 2020 and being able to close that gap. And I think COVID's made that really difficult for us.
And another barrier thrown up last week. The federal government will shut down the census on September 30th so the count can be given to the White House before the end of the year.